So here's the thing. Everyone is innately lazy, okay? You probably think you're lazy. You probably think you're not doing enough. You probably think you're just a pathetic man compared to other men out there. But the truth is, everyone is lazy. I can tell you right now, if there weren't women and power to chase in this world, in this society, everyone would be just lying around doing nothing, watching Netflix all day, if that was a thing. But the reality is there are women and there are societal structures and power hierarchies to follow and get into and all of that stuff in today's world, in the world that we live in the reality that we live in, right? And so the truth is you can't be lazy if you want to actually reap the rewards that this world, this life has to offer. But I want to invite you to consider there's another way of thinking about this rather than just saying, oh, I'm lazy, so therefore I'm never going to see success. Because I've known and I know and I've heard of loads of successful people and men who see, well, tons of success, financial success, whatever it is, and they literally say themselves, they're naturally lazy. Everyone's naturally lazy, right? It's like literally one of the first things about human beings is, as long as we have our basic survival needs met, i.e. we've got shelter and food and water, it's like the next thing is laziness, right? As long as we've got that met, you naturally just want to sleep around. Like there's no need to really do anything else, right? Back in the day, in the prehistorical days, we'd have to hunt all the freaking time, right, to get food and shelter. So you couldn't actually afford to be lazy because you'd have to be spending most of your days trying to hunt God knows what and also protect yourself from God knows what, right? So you'd always have to be, on edge. In today's day and age, there's loads of men who are comfortable, lazy, because it's super easy to have your basic needs met. And therefore, it's very common for a lot of men to never reach their full potential, to stay in this never-ending loop of comfort and depression and unfulfilled potential. It's tough. It's really a tough place to be stuck in as a man, right? And to break out of it, you've got to understand you are naturally lazy. Every single man and human being is naturally lazy. But the difference between a successful man and an unsuccessful man is how proactive that person is, that man is. Are you proactive or reactive? I can assure you right now, if you aren't in a place that you are loving right now in your life, it's because you're reactive. You're waiting for things to happen in your life and react to them as they come. And that is one surefire way to never get to where you want to be in life. All that gets you by being reactive is it gets you a life that you never wanted to settle for in the first place, but you are forced to settle for because you aren't proactive enough, right? It's the men who are proactive, who get out there, who get after what they want, who create their own destiny, who ultimately forge the destiny that they are happy with. You've got to be proactive rather than reactive. It's the men who are proactive, who create their to-do list, who set out tasks for them to do every single day, who ultimately become successful. And whatever success means to you, in most cases, it means becoming rich, becoming free, becoming a fully sovereign individual, right? That's most men's definition of success. Becoming someone who's respected, who's got all the relationships in the world that they could ever ask for, who's great with women, etc. To become that man, you've got to be proactive, right? I can tell you right now, a successful business is not going to fall into your laps. That beautiful woman is not going to fall into your laps. Most men, it's crazy, like they never approach women or that beautiful woman that they see whilst they're out and about, kind of expecting that they're going to come to them, right? That's never going to happen, mate, right? That successful business is never going to fall into your laps. That amazing ripped body is never going to just happen like that. You've got to be proactive. Now, the thing is I view it like this because it's binary, right? It's like everyone's lazy. Everyone would prefer to watch Netflix all day and get paid, by doing so if they could and have, that beautiful woman by their side and be eating crap all day if that meant that they were still ripped. But that's not how the world works, right? You've got to be proactive, and that requires a bit of discipline, right? You've got to have enough discipline to wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning instead of 8 a.m., even if you don't need to, but you know it's going to allow you to get that 2 hours extra of work in the morning before maybe your 9 to 5, that will allow you to inevitably become more free and quit your job, etc. This is just a random example, but you've got to have that bit of discipline and courage even to walk up to that beautiful woman and speak to her and get a number and go on a date and eventually maybe build a relationship with her. You've got to be proactive. Be a proactive man. Don't wait for things to happen. Like, if there's a deadline, this is why most people get trapped in their jobs like forever, right? Or in a life that they don't like, is they are always waiting for things to happen. And if there's a deadline for something, they'll just like literally do it at the deadline, and they won't even do it before. Like, they won't be proactive enough to do it, to get it done, to just get it out of the way, right? And move on to the next thing. And again, this is a massive topic. I could go on so many tangents here, but it's a reason why most men never actually become their own boss, is because they are basically, they subconsciously love it when and prefer it when someone else tells them what to do, right? They prefer being reactive because it's a safer thing. It's like, you know, to be proactive, you need to basically take on risks. You need to trust your own judgment, right? You need to trust that what you're doing is ultimately going to serve you and is going to pay off, right? It's basically you being your own boss, you giving your own chores, your own tasks to do. This is what successful men do, right? Is they are proactive. They tell themselves what to do and they follow through on it as if it was a boss telling them what to do, right? As if it was someone very powerful telling them what to do, okay? The issue is most men aren't ready to do that, right? And it's not that you're lazy. I mean, everyone's naturally lazy, right? But as I say, it's just that you're reactive. Be more proactive and you'll start to see more results in life, right? Take matters into your own hand. Like, life is generally what you make it, but it's only as good as how proactive you are. That's literally it. It's the biggest decider when it comes to achieving stuff in life, is being more proactive than you are reactive, okay? So ask yourself, this is your bit of action steps for this video. Ask yourself, where are you being reactive in your life and where are you being proactive? For most of you watching this, it's going to be that you are reactive in most areas of your life, 90% of your life, and maybe in 10% you're being proactive. But try to make that 90% proactive and 10% reactive, because sure, there are some things that will happen in your life where you will be reacting to, right? You will be reacting to. You can't always be acting before everything, right? You can't always be proactive. Like, there's going to be certain things that just happen and you need to react to as you go on. But for most things, you can be proactive. You can take matters into your own hands and therefore just make your life 10 times easier, right? It's going to be harder, but then on the back end, it's going to be a lot easier, okay? So make that happen and let me know how you go in the comments. See you in the next video.